I need your clothes, your boots, and your motorcycle.
We saw, we kicked his ass.
I'm coming for blood.
What's going on, everybody? Big Kev from Big Kev's World coming back at you for another video. Like, share, subscribe if you like the content that I've been giving you guys. We're at 67 subs. I want to appreciate everybody that has subbed and commented and liked my videos. I appreciate it. Comes with a lot of love, and I appreciate it. This one was going to be a little bit of a different video for me. Tom Brady has officially announced. I know that they broke the news last week, but Brady on his Instagram posted that today is the day that he officially retires from the game of football and from the NFL entirely. At 44 years old, you have to. The one thing about this is when Brady first came around, I was not a fan of Tom Brady. I thought he was a cocky, arrogant, disturbing. It just, I don't know. He was really cocky to me, and I just didn't really care. Didn't really see the point in it per se. So I was not really that much of a fan of Tom. I think when he got married to Giselle and they started having kids, things started to change for Tom. And they say that happens to a lot of men, a lot of people in general. Once you become a father, it's a totally different ballgame. And, I read, reading Tom Brady's book or reading some stuff about him, I got to know a little bit more about the man behind the football helmet. And Tom Brady's a really great human being. And, whether or not we could talk about the deflate scandal or nothing like that, I'm not here to do that. I'm here to pay respects to a man who a lot of people in the media and a lot of people around the globe would consider the greatest of all time, the greatest quarterback of all time. Now, if any of y'all have ever seen my old videos, even from Kev's point of view, you know that I always thought that the greatest quarterback of all time was Joe Montana. But Tom Brady has won, was it 7 or 8? I think it's either 7 or 8 Super Bowl rings. He's lost a few too. He's lost a few too. Don't get me wrong. But the fact that he got there those many times, and yet you can say what you want about New England. I know a lot of people have mixed feelings about New England and Coach Belichick and some of the standards that they did back in the day. But you can't deny how great Brady is. I mean, this is a guy who, when his last year in New England, my team, the Titans, put them out of the playoffs, which means Brady left New England at that point. But Brady got them to the playoffs with barely any weapons around him. He didn't have Gronk. He didn't have Randy Moss and all these guys. He had pretty much a low spout to him. He didn't really have that many really targets to throw to. And the fact that he still got them to an AFC wildcard game in Foxborough is impressive. And then, when Brady left New England, everybody was thinking, is he going to retire? Is he going to do that? And then he went to Tampa. He went to Tampa with a team that had a quarterback for a couple years in James Winston. James Winston had these targets, Mike Evans and all them, and he couldn't get it over the hump. So then Brady goes to Tampa. Gronkowski follows him. And New England wins Tampa wins the Super Bowl, and Brady wins it without Coach Belichick, without the New England banner under him. And he showed the world that, hey, it wasn't just New England. It wasn't just Belichick. I am this good. And I thought that was one of the most statements, because during that time, everybody was saying Brady lost a step. I remember watching Fox Sports. I remember watching ESPN, and a few of them were like, Brady's lost a step. I don't know how he's going to do. And then when he played the first couple games in Tampa, he was struggling, and they were saying it then. They were basically throwing in the towel on him, and he pretty much won that Super Bowl with a middle finger in the air, pretty much telling everyone to kiss his ass. And I couldn't be more happier for him at that point, because I'm not really a big Patrick Mahomes fan, and I hate the Chiefs. I don't like the Chiefs at all. So for him to go in there and beat Kansas City that way, I enjoyed it. But now we're going into this season. This season was a lot of controversy for Tampa. I know Brady and Coach Harris, like, they had a little bit of butting heads back and forth about what offensive plays to run and how to do things. But being the cool Tom Brady, being that cool cat that he is, he got through it. Then the whole thing happened with Antonio Brown, and that escapade happened, and they still won their division, and they still went to the playoffs. And unfortunately, they got off to a slow start against the Rams, but then they started to come back. I think if Tampa would have had a little bit more time, they probably would have beaten the Rams. We'd be talking about a whole totally different ball game as far as the Super Bowl concerned. But Brady was satisfied. The fact that he said he was satisfied with this season shows to me that Brady says, like, every year after he gets done, him and Giselle have a talk, and his kids are getting a little older. He wants to be around them. More power to him. Brady loves his family. He does love the football field, and I know this is going to hurt for a little bit, because that's all he's ever done, has been this fierce competitor. No matter what you think of Tom Brady as a player, the one thing I've always find admirable, and the one thing I've always respected about Tom Brady, is his drive, his focus, and his competitiveness to be the best ever. And there's no denying. I mean, there's a lot of great quarterbacks in our past. There's Dan Marino, there's John Elway, there's Joe Montana, there's Roger Staubach, there's Troy Aikman, there's Peyton Manning. There's a list. Aaron Rodgers, Brett Favre, all that. There's a list of a mile long of great men who led their teams. But I don't care who you are as a football team. If you put Tom Brady behind the center, your football team is automatically better because of it. And I was pissed because I really wanted Brady not to go to Tampa. I wanted him to come to Tennessee, but Tennessee decided to go with Tannehill, and we see how that worked. But Brady decided to go to Tampa, and I know some fans in New England weren't happy about it, but Belichick wouldn't let him have his own trainer there. They were taking stuff away from Tom that really bothered Tom, and I'm pretty sure that we're already going to know in about 5 years Tom Brady will be in the NFL Hall of Fame. There's no doubt in my mind. In that he will get his gold jacket. He'll probably go in as a Patriot, or maybe he might go in as both. I don't know, but if I'm Brady in this situation, when I read that book of him, the stuff that he does with his body, the stuff that he puts in his body, the stuff that he didn't eat, the stuff that he didn't do, it's really remarkable. That's the reason why he was able to play at such a high level at the age of 44. And I do believe at the age of 45, if he would have kept going for another year, he would still play at a high level. This guy has like a freak of nature. And that's, everybody always says Father Time likes to catch up to you. I haven't seen it yet with Brady. I mean, I have not seen it yet with Brady. And I know some football fans on here that I follow on YouTube are going to be happy because they don't have to deal with Brady anymore. And, teams can now rest easy knowing that they don't have to deal with the GOAT. And that's okay to feel that way because, as football fans, we, a lot of us are passionate about our teams. And for them to say that about Brady is not a disrespect to Brady. That's actually a respect to Brady because we all feared Tom Brady. And that's the thing. Like anytime you knew that your team was winning, even if it was by 10, by 20, by 3, no matter what it is, if there's still time on the clock in a fourth quarter and Tom Brady's got the ball in his hands, everybody was shitting their pants a little bit because you knew that cool cat Tom Brady would come down that field and make something happen. And couldn't happen, to a better guy. I mean, he's a very good, respectable man. I don't know what he's going to do now during the offseason. I heard he's got a clothing line coming out. I know Brady's going to miss the sport. Maybe Brady will come back as as a sportscaster. Maybe he might come back as a coach. Who knows? But I think for now, Brady's just going to enjoy that Florida sun, and he's going to enjoy the beach, and he's going to enjoy being a father to his kids. And Andrew, it's not going to be the same anymore. I was telling my wife that yesterday. I said, or actually earlier today, I was like, we were riding, and I said, the NFL is going to look a little bit more bleak this coming season without Tom Brady. It's going to look bleak. I mean, yeah, we got Patrick Mahomes. Yeah, there's Joe Burrow. There's these up-and-coming guys like Josh Allen and Justin Herbert and all these younger receivers. But now that the old guard is leaving. Ben's retired this year. Brady's now retired. And the only old guard we have left is Aaron Rodgers. And there's no telling what Aaron Rodgers is going to do. Everybody's all thinking he's going to go to Denver. Aaron Rodgers can easily say, fuck this, I'm gone too, and I'm retired. So, there's a lot of different things, and the NFL is going to look a lot of bleak, and this hurts the NFL because Tom Brady's name is money. Just the first game alone with Tampa and Dallas drew in like 20, 30 million viewers on a Wednesday or Thursday night. Tom Brady is a guy who's, I know, is going to be an ambassador for the NFL. That's something I heard him say that he would like to be as an ambassador for the NFL, and I'm cool with that. I know that Andrew probably wanted Tampa when he left New England. I know that 49er fans wanted him to go to San Francisco and replace Jimmy Garoppolo. And, instead he went to Tampa. And, it's to me, it's like this. I'm going to miss Tom Brady from a competitive standpoint too, because I love the fact that our team, my Titans, knocked out New England, and he left New England and went to Tampa. That felt good to me, but it was a competitive thing because I knew how good Tom Brady is, and I knew that if he had another crack at us again, he would dissect us, and that's exactly what Brady would. And the same thing happened too, Andrew, with me. Um, Jimmy. The one thing I understand is when the Titans wanted to go after Brady, they were all talking about in the media Brady's connection to New England with Vrabel and all that, and then we decided we were going to stick with Tannehill, and then Brady went to New England. He went to Tampa, and when he went to Tampa, it was pretty much a big fu to everybody. And also, Jimmy G's gone now. Oh shit! Wow. Honestly, It's going to be really hard because my wife, and my father-in-law likes to have this little inside joke about Brady still 42 or still 40 something. He's still playing, and we were always making that joke about it. Now Brady not being there no more, it's kind of like you can't make that joke anymore. You can't really throw that in there, and it's. But I can honestly say that the NFL is going to look very bleak without Brady. And Brady's been a very good ambassador for the NFL, no matter what you think of him. Brady's been a very good ambassador for the NFL. He's, when NFL has their little partnerships with other companies for their commercials and stuff like that, Brady's money. I put Brady in the same shoes. Now, I know somebody made this video the other day on YouTube, and I saw it and put Brady and LeBron James in the same category. No. Tom Brady, to me, is like the Michael Jordan of the NFL. When he officially retires, it puts, like, you're like, wow, this is it. And when Michael retired that last time, it looked bleak. It looked really bleak because you're like, well, who's going to take over for the NFL? The NBA now. And, luckily we had Kobe at that point, but what's the NFL got now? Breeze is gone, retired before the season. Roethlisberger's gone. Brady's gone. Aaron Rodgers is still there, but he could choose to come and go if he wants to. If Aaron Rodgers goes too, that would definitely be the end of the old guard in the NFL. That would definitely be like, well, now it's time for Joe Burrow. Now it's time for, Matt Jones and Justin Herbert and Josh Allen and all these younger guys, Lamar Jackson and them, Patrick Mahomes. It'd be up to them to represent the NFL now. And, I know all of us in some way, shape, or form, when Brady faced our team, we probably cussed the crap out of him and we cheered when we beat him because that's just the competitive drive that he brought out. When Brady comes in there, he brings out that competitive drive into not only another team, but he brings it out into the fans. Like, we were like, man, I really want to beat this guy. I really want to humiliate him. And, for the longest time, with my Titans being in the AFC, Brady was in the AFC, and we're like, wow, how are we going to get past this? There was Peyton Manning and Brady you had to get past, and then Roethlisberger. And you're like, well, now all three is gone. And you're like, well, hello. That door's open, but the AFC has shown that with Joe Burrow and Patrick Mahomes and stuff, the AFC is not as open as you think it is, and Josh Allen. But I don't know. It really is a sad day for the NFL, and it's a sad day as a fan because, I just want to thank Tom Brady for the memories, man. He really, coming into that game, his very first ever season, that whole little controversy in his first ever AFC Championship game against the Raiders, that tuck rule, to them winning their first Super Bowl, to, I mean, it's amazing. And Brady's only had one big major injury his entire year, and that's when he had that ACL thing. Brady really hasn't missed that many games except for that 1 year. He really has been a pillar of strength, and a lot of that goes with his endurance. A lot of that goes with his training that he does in the off season. You know, what kind of food and particles he brings in his body. The tuck rule game, yes, that was the 2001 AFC Championship. Yep, that's what I was thinking of. And you know, the stuff that he puts in his body is a very important thing. Oh, division. Okay. Yeah. Well, the important pieces to your health is that. And a lot of people are like, oh, you know, I mean, how the hell is Tom Brady able to keep going at 44? Well, it's basically putting yourself in a competitive state. It's your mind, body, and soul is what you put in your body. It's what you do with your body. Anybody can accomplish anything at the age of 44, and I turn 40 next week. And you know, I remember I played the QB position for a long time when I was in Little League, when I was in junior high and high school, and that is the hardest position that you can think of on a football field. And a lot of people like to say quarterbacks are the biggest babies. They always get people, and then the referees protect them and all that. But to be honest with you, people don't realize what goes into being a quarterback. The play calls, learning the plays, learning the drills, seeing everybody that's open on the field, making sure that a rush doesn't come at you. Everything is like so quick. You have to be very, very, very confident in your ability. You have to be very poised, and you have to be very, very. And Brady was everything and then some. If Tom Brady didn't get hurt in 2008, I think New England would have won the Super Bowl that year. Yeah, that's very possible. Very possible. And the quarterback position is not a very easy thing. Not every guy, not every person that becomes a quarterback can do it. When I got to my college time, my knee blew out, and I knew it was the end for me. But you know, I'm a very competitive person too, and that really took a lot out of me. And Brady's walking out on his own terms now. Who's to say if Brady's going to stay retired? I mean, I know some sports people are like, well, maybe Brady might come out of retirement. Let me tell you something. Brady's done. It's not, and Brady went out on his own terms. I know some people rather see him go out holding the Lombardi Trophy. And I know everybody gets that point. You know, John Elway got that, Peyton Manning got that, but not everybody gets that. Not everybody gets the chance to retire while holding the championship in their hand. Some people do, some people don't. And I will say this, though. Tampa's got a lot of things to do because now Gronkowski said that he will not play for anybody else unless it was Brady. So now you're not only going to lose Tom Brady, but you're going to lose Gronkowski at the same time. So, you know, Tampa goes back to being just a regular average football team. And that's what Brady can do. See, you can put Brady on Denver. You could have put Brady with Cleveland. You could have put Brady with any team in the NFL right now, and automatically they're a playoff team. That's how good of a quarterback Tom Brady is. And a lot of people don't get that. A lot of people just wants to hate on him because he won a lot, and you know, he has a supermodel wife. You know, one of the very first ever Victoria's Secret models. But it's not just that. Brady's a very good human being, and he does a lot of great things outside the league. And as a person, I think Tom Brady is probably one of the nicest people on the planet. Is he confident? Absolutely. Is he cocky at times? Sure. But if you have that many rings and that many championships as Tom Brady, and you have won a lot of game winning drives and you've beaten the best, you have every right in the world to be cocky. To me, you have every right in the world to feel the way you do. And Brady's, it's just a really dark cloud in the NFL right now. And I don't know, the Super Bowl is next week. It's just a really dark cloud right now. And I think that's what's right now is Brady's leaving that dark cloud hanging above us, because what's going to happen with the NFL? Who's going to be that next big guy? Is it Patrick Mahomes? Is it Joe Burrow? Is it this person? Is it Josh? Is it Justin Herbert? There's a lot of great young NFL talent in the league right now, but who takes that mantle? Who takes that mantle as the greatest of all time? Now, who takes that mantle? And what's interesting though is when we become older and we become grandpas and grandmas and all that, our kids' generation is going to look at this and be like, they're going to start comparing their quarterback to Tom Brady. It's going to happen. That's what we were doing when Brady first came out. Everybody's like, wow, let's compare him to Joe Montana. And to me, Joe Montana will still be one of the greatest quarterbacks of all time. Cool Joe is probably one of the greatest quarterbacks of all time. And I've said it. But Brady, unfortunately, has surpassed that. And Joe Montana is still right up there with him, in my eyes. The Brady Wars with Joe Cool was different. Yeah, totally different guy. Totally different ball player. I can never forget the Brady Manning rivalry that was going on. When Manning was with the Colts, they were always trying to get past New England, and when they did, and then next year New England found a way to beat them, and it was just Tom Brady was at the game with that catch. That catch game with San Francisco and Dallas is still one of the greatest moments in the NFL as far as plays go. Mm-hmm. Yep, it was versus Dallas. Yep, you're correct on that, Andrew. It was 1981. And so, yeah, my last couple spots with Brady is this. I want to thank Tom Brady for all the memories that he's given us. I want to thank him for some of the heartaches that he's given us. Some of the ass whooping that he's given some of our teams. I will never forget the snow game where they were beating the Titans 58-0 in New England, and he was dropping like 6-7 touchdowns on us. I'll still never forget that, Tim. But the one thing I'll also never forget about Brady is Brady showed what a leader is supposed to be. Brady showed what a man you're supposed to be. Brady's shown how you're supposed to be in this business, how you're supposed to conduct yourself as an individual and as a man. Brady has shown a lot. He's taught us a lot. If I ever got to meet Tom Brady, I would look at him dead straight in the eyes and I would say, sir, you are the greatest quarterback of all time. He probably doesn't think that, and I've heard him on there. He's a very humble guy, actually. When you see some of his interviews with him in the past, he's a very humble guy. But Brady, in my eyes, is the greatest of all time. And until someone comes in there and proves me wrong, it's not going to happen. Like the same thing with the NBA. I still think Michael Jordan's the greatest of all time. And I don't care what these LeBron James fans have to say until he proves otherwise. You're not going to change my mind. But Tom Brady, thank you, number 12. Thank you for the memories. Thank you for being the coolest cat in the room. Hey, what's up, Scorpion Death Drop? Thank you for being the greatest football player, the greatest quarterback of all time. And I'm not, and this is the competitive side of me coming out right here. I'm glad that I don't have to watch you on the other side trying to drill my team. And then I'm gonna say that as respectful as I can be. But Tom Brady is officially retired, and the NFL is looking a lot bleak right now. And I don't know who's gonna step up and take that mantle. And Brady's left a big. This ain't no mantle. He's left like a fucking mansion on a hill. So you got a lot of people's got a lot of cleats to fill, a lot of shoes to fill if you want to catch up to Brady. But I welcome to see these other players try to do it, and that's what's great about football. It's a very competitive game, and it's very competitive driven, and it's just going to grow because what's funny is that people who don't watch football, it was the same thing with wrestling. When people didn't watch wrestling back then, they knew who Hulk Hogan was. If you didn't watch the NBA back then, you knew who Michael Jordan was. If you didn't watch boxing, you knew who Mike Tyson, Muhammad Ali was. Tom Brady's in that same category. If you didn't watch football, you knew still who Tom Brady was. And Tom Brady is a very global, the name Tom Brady is a very global phenomenon. And there will not be another person like Tom Brady. I don't see it. But thank you for the memories, Tom Brady. And this is Big Kev signing out here. Like, share, sub. Tell me in the comments some of your favorite Tom Brady memories or some of the memories that you've had against him. I would like to hear this. And click that subscribe button and click that little notification bell to get all your daily needs from me. I appreciate everybody that is subbed up right now, and continue to sub up, guys. I got a lot more tricks in the bag coming up. So, but this is Big Kev from Big Kev's World. I'm out.